Welcome to Pepe's Bar.
Yeah, thank you. I've poured myself a glass of wine. I hope that's okay.
That's good. That's good. I mean, I hope it's not that Dutch wine. It's maybe from Spain.
Actually, it's a Spanish wine. It's a Tempranillo.
Okay, then everything is perfect tonight. So, my dear Bart, my dear friend Bart, welcome to Pepe's Bar. So tonight, so on one side was easy for me to prepare for this evening, for this meeting, but on the other side it's difficult because we have met many times. And when I start writing things, I said, okay, what I want to know and about you, and what are the things that I know that I can ask a little bit deeper or whatever. But anyway, so always there's a question at the beginning that I ask, who are you?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know myself yet. Okay, I'm Bart Knack. I studied computer science in Delft ages ago by now. And from there, I went into software development.
Your mic, you're hearing very badly. Sometimes breaks. Your sound is not good enough.
Oh, okay. Can I use a different mic? Let me see.
Now it's good. Now it's good. But at some point, I don't know, it was the network.
Oh, okay. So,
but that's fine. I'm sorry. So you are Bart Knack, you study computer science.
Yeah. So a long time ago, and then I went into software development. I worked for a telephony company for a number of years as a software developer, and then they asked me to head off their test automation team, because actually that's what they thought I was good at. And this cat is going to ruin everything. Oh my God. Cat, get out of the way. Okay, so and then when I was doing software development, I actually went into test automation, and from there I went into testing, and I never got out again, because actually I think testing is way more interesting than development. And that's not because I don't like development, but the development community was already very well established, whereas in the testing community there was still a lot to do. I need to get rid of this cat. This is Sadie, by the way.
What is the name of the cat?
Sadie.
Sadie.
Sadie, after an Egyptian goddess.
Okay. So that's nice. I can understand that she wants to be with me.
Yeah, she wants to be in the video. Yeah, she wants to be.
Yeah, that's okay. I love cats. Also dogs, but
okay. So then I was in software development, and at some point I get out of the way. Okay. At some point I was asked to actually put a presentation in one of the. I'm not sure what's happened. This is horrible. Cat, come on. Okay. I cannot really hear you properly. I think the cat has ruined something. And I hear myself. Oh, I've started a record. You started the recording.
Yeah, I started recording. Yeah, we're recording that. Everybody's going to see that.
Okay. So at some point I went into testing because I thought that was way more interesting, and I never got out of it. And then at some point I did a presentation at a conference, and that's actually when my conference career started. And I think about 15 years ago, I met James Lindsay, and we actually did a test lab, which was a place for testers to test at a test conference. And one of you guys saw that at one of the conferences and then asked me to do that at Agile Testing Days. And I think that's how it all started for me coming to Agile Testing Days.
Wow. Wow. But did we meet before? I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think we met before I actually did the test lab at ATD.
Yeah. Okay. But it's a long time ago. I mean, it was 100 years ago.
It must have been 15 years ago, something like that.
Yeah. I don't know, but a long time.
Long
maybe time. No, 15 not, but maybe 13.
I think I've been at the third Agile Testing Days ever. The first two I've never been to, but the third.
Okay. Yeah. They're the first two ones now because we did it in Berlin, and then we grow quite quick, and then we moved to Potsdam, and yeah.
I've never been to Berlin for Agile Testing Days.
It may change.
What? You're planning on moving?
I don't know.
Well.
I don't know.
Okay.
I can't tell you anything that exposed my life to maltreatment from my team. Oh my dear. But that's nice. So I didn't know that you studied computer science.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I did. Actually, I did my master's thesis in Scotland on the computational complexity of parallel algorithms.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And when I studied computer science, it was just at the dawn of object-oriented programming languages. So I never really got into that. So that's something that I had to learn myself afterwards. But I did a lot of programming in C and stuff like that.
But you learned at the beginning of the 90s, or?
Yeah, something like that, around there.
Like myself, so.
End of the 80s, beginning of the 90s. Yeah. Oh, well.
So I would like to go a little bit back. So, how was the little Bart?
Ooh. Well,
because now you are big Bart.
Yeah, not. I'm quite big. Yeah. Little Bart was, I would say, a bit. Well, how should I put it? I was a smart kid, but I was not very streetwise, if you know what I mean. I was kind of a autistic would be a big word, but I had some strange character traits when I was a young kid. So
okay. And maybe the German word for that is Klugscheißer.
That might be. I don't know the word, but if you say so, then that must be it.
Klugscheißer is someone who knows everything better.
Ah, right. There might be some truth in there. Yeah, yes, that might be true. And okay. I think I started to become a bit more sociable when I was in high school. Then I changed, and then at university everything was fine. But before high school, I might have been a bit, well, not antisocial, but not as sociable as I am right now.
Okay, this has something to do with the Dutch society, or is only about you?
Mostly about me, I would say. It's yeah. Like I said, it was. I don't think I was autistic, but I had some strange character traits which made me a bit weird. There is this feedback loop I get. Is that you have been invited on stage? Okay.
Okay.
So yeah. But enough about little Bart. Let's move on.
So that's interesting because you have changed a lot. I mean, and nowadays you are really yeah, you are to find in each party, let's say in that way. So yeah. So you are quite social. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've changed in that sense. Yes, for the better.
And how was in the school for you when you was in that way?
Well,
Was
like I
easy?
said, when I got to the high school or to the Realschule or something like that, I did I was well. The school was easy for me. I could do that very easy, and but making friends and stuff like that was harder. So I had to work on that. But then at some point, I think when I was in the third grade of secondary school, I started to do martial arts, and that actually built my self-confidence, and that gave me a different opportunity to actually make friends and stuff like that. So I did American Kempo, which is a obscure martial art, but it actually gave me some more self-esteem and more trust in myself, which I needed to actually make more friends.
Why? I mean, why did you start doing this martial arts? Because you wanted, or your parents said, "Bart, you need to move yourself a little bit. You have to
No,
defend."
I think it was by my own choice. I think I chose for it myself to do so. Also, knowing that what I missed was a bit of self-confidence in there.
Okay. Interesting. And you were not afraid that the people will hit you, or?
Well, that's part of the deal.
Okay.
You know that you're going to be hit if you do martial arts.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I remember when I was a child, next to my home, I was in a very strange area where I live in, and there were a boxing place where the people really box, land boxing and so on. And from this place, two of the people, the hermanos Godoy, the brothers Godoy, they were in Spain, or no, in Europe, I think, Europe master on boxing for this little weight. I don't know what's the name of that, and flight or whatever. And they trained there. And I remember that we're thinking about going there. Once we didn't have the money to pay for that, because you need to pay a little bit even, and we didn't have the money for that. And on the other side, I thought I am too beautiful, so too handsome. That's my capital, that's my capital. That's my value. But in your case, that was not the problem, right?
Thank you. No, no, actually, the martial arts I did was not full contact. So you did hit each other, but it was not like hitting each other full in the face or something like that. So there were some restrictions in that sense.
Okay.
But
and when did you move to do taekwondo?
Well, actually, that is way later. When my oldest son was 4 years old, I remembered that I did martial arts to gain some self-confidence, and I wanted him to have the same. And there was a taekwondo school just around the corner. So when we thought of sending him to a martial art, he actually, well, we sent him there, and that was taekwondo. And then when he did that already for 4 or 5 years, then I at some point decided, well, maybe I want to do some taekwondo myself as well. So that's actually, well, it's only 20 years ago that I started doing taekwondo.
Oh, okay. So I can give you. Are you still doing it?
No, not really. Not really.
Okay.
The last 4 years I haven't been doing taekwondo. I've been doing other stuff like cycling.
Okay. Last year I was with my daughter, little daughter, in a sport place, where she was doing something, and I was waiting outside in the hall, and I found a flyer and the flyer was Taekwondo für Senioren.
Okay.
For seniors, so starting at 60. So, and I was there, so okay, maybe I should take that too. So it's a hint for you, but you're still.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I really need that. Well, there is a martial art which at some point I would like to pick up, and that
Which
is
one?
Aikido.
Okay, Aikido.
Because it's one of the strengths of Aikido is that you actually use the power of your opponent against him. So, and yeah, I find it fascinating. So that's something that at some point I might want to pick up. But then again, you have to do a lot of falling and rolling and stuff like that, and I'm not sure whether I'm up to that anymore.
I was in Brazil with Felipe de Freitas, and he's a teacher of Aikido, and I was there doing some design sprints training at the university in Recife.
Okay.
And they were the one who hosted me, and then one evening I went to a training. So and the whole training was about falling. So falling, of course, we did some things, okay, but small things, and all the things were falling. But it was very nice. There are some pictures of that, and I think a short video in Facebook about that. But I was, I think, 6-8 years ago, or something like that. That was it's very nice. It's very nice. Also, I think Alexander Schwartz from Berlin, he's doing that. Yeah. So it's nice. It's nice. So one of the things that that I have seen about you is that you are always in action. You're always doing things. So where do you get this power for that?
I think one of the things I really believe in is that everything seems hard until you start doing it, right? So you just if something looks difficult, then just go ahead and do it and see what happens. And that's what I also like about the Agile Testing Days is that you always give the space to people who want to do stuff, and actually that actually encourages me to do the strange things that I do. And one thing I've learned is not to take yourself too seriously. So if you do something and you make a fool out of yourself, it's okay. That can happen. But on the other hand, most of the things that you do will succeed. Yeah. And the energy I get for doing all these things is because at the end of the week I'm just very tired, and then I go home and then you don't see it anymore. So I'll be there the entire week at Agile Testing Days, very energetic, and then I go home and I just fall down and fall asleep and stuff like that.
Yeah, really, that's crazy. No, I mean it's. I mean, I always say that sleeping is overrated at the conference, and but you see how much power it takes, and sometimes we try to get early to bed. Early means maybe before midnight, and but normally it's difficult. And what I normally try is to avoid the bar, not because of the drinking, is because you start conversations with people, and it gets so interesting and so nicely that you cannot leave, and then you're hooked, and then you look at the 4 o'clock. I should sleep 2 hours. Well, I need to be tomorrow on the stage.
I normally do quite some things at Agile Testing Days, so I always know that I have to be ready to do the next thing the next day. So there's automatically a trigger to not make it too late and not become too tired, because you know the next day you have to perform again.
Yeah.
And that at some point you just have to say, okay, this is enough, and now I go to bed, and otherwise tomorrow I will not be able to do what I promised to do.
Yeah. Mm.
And that's one of the things that I think is one of my morals as well. If you promise to do something, then do your utter best to do it. And it doesn't mean that you will always succeed, but at least you will, you know that you've tried to do what you can to actually get there.
I mean, you said before that when you were a child, you were a little bit, let's say, you have some maybe autistic or some similar. Nowadays, like I said, you are quite intensive doing things, no? I mean, there is a specific driver for yourself that you said, okay, I need to do that, not because I gave my word that I am going to do it, but because there is something in me that is alive. What is the driver for that?
I guess I kind of like partially to be in the spotlight. You know, you have this this need for, it's not acceptance, but for recognition. Let's put it like that. So I always really enjoy it if afterwards someone says to you, hey, that you did a great job, or I liked what you did, or even sometimes years later someone says to you, you inspired me because you did that how many times ago. So I had someone coming up to me lately saying that you actually inspired me to become a conference speaker. And that is someone that is now a established speaker. And I'm like, wow, I was able to inspire someone to do that. And that actually is the gratification, that you actually inspire other people to become their best. And that actually, I think, is for me the kind of gratification that I'm looking for, that also makes me keep on going and say, okay, I can do this, I can inspire people, and it will help them to become their better self. So I think that's part of the deal, to actually be able to inspire people to do things they normally would not have done.
I will come back later to this inspiration part, okay? And remember me, please, on that, because I have another here, and I want to go a little bit, but in another different topic on that. So, so you inspire people, and there is someone who inspire you.
Yeah, I think so. There's a number of people that in the past have inspired me to do stuff and to actually do the things I do right now. One of the people that actually inspires me, and I think I inspire him as well, it's kind of a mutual thing, it's James Lindsay. We met a number of years ago when we started the test lab. We didn't know each other at that moment, and within 5 minutes, we decided that we were going to do the test lab at the next conference. And we kind of feed on each other. He knows how to bring the best out of me. I know how to bring the best out of him. And as I always say, I always get us into trouble, and he always gets us out of trouble. So it's kind of a symbiosis that works quite well. And actually, well, you've seen it at Agile Testing Days. We do the speaker prep as well. It's we are very aligned, even though we're not the same. But we have mutual respect. We let each other shine. We do not try to outsmart the other or whatever. It's a very natural feeling. It's a very good and easy collaboration. And it's amazing because we actually didn't know each other at the moment that we started this collaboration.
But I think it's also a sign that you are mature in the way that you let other people the space and shine. I mean, when you work with people, and I think that I am always proud of my colleagues, but also of other people that if you give them the space to shine, and that's wonderful, because I think many people don't. They don't want to let that happen, or they want to avoid that, no? Because I think they do not understand, yeah, that when they shine, they may show you also the path that you need. And
actually,
I think,
to be honest, I would rather be the stage master than the artist. I'd rather have other people go on stage and do their thing and do it right than having to be there myself.
yeah, yeah. Look at me, look at me. Yeah, I mean, I never had a talk at the Agile Testing Days, and I normally don't. Sometimes I do some talks, whatever, but I don't. I let other people shine. That's the best part. I'm okay presenting the people. I think that's the best.
Yeah.
Because I want to avoid work. That's also the part. So when you were when you finished studying and then you started working, and I hope you got a good salary. I hope so. How was the feeling for the first time having money?
Well, that actually is an interesting story, because I started my PhD. Okay, this is one cat fighting the other cat, so this is actually going to be more interesting than it was already.
That's okay. We can have a live
live cat fight. So I actually did a PhD, and at some point I got stuck. So I wanted to switch subject, and then my supervisor said, no, you have to stick with what you do. So I got bored with it, and I started to apply for a job at a company. And then at the moment that they actually accepted my application, I got this offer, this money offer, like you can earn this much, and it was about twice as much as I was earning at the university at that moment. Wow. And that actually was like, okay, so at that moment the university said, no, sorry, you were right, you should do what you think you should do. But at that moment the switch was already, well, I already made the switch because of this money offer that you got. So yeah, the first time you really have money, that is a weird feeling. And actually, at the same job, I also got a lease car. So you suddenly have money and you have a car and stuff like that. So that was weird.
Yeah, that was the time. Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, if you imagine what kind of amount you used to live when you were young, and how much money do you spend today to keep you alive?
Yeah. No, sure.
And drugs are expensive, I say.
It is. And to be honest, if you're talking about a little Bart, we didn't have much money when I was a kid. So in that sense, earning your own first salary, which is kind of high, was really a good feeling.
Yeah. I know. Do you have fears?
Fear of height, definitely. I think I used to have what you would call the imposter syndrome. That you feel that you're not good enough, and that someone will find out that you're not good enough and stuff like that. And I think I had that for quite a long time, until at some point I decided, no, it's I shouldn't be afraid of that, because whatever I do, it will always at some point. If I do the best I can, I should not have to worry about it not being good enough.
Yeah.
So that's a changing moment in your life, that you're like, okay, maybe someone else can do it better, but that's okay. I don't have to be the best. But if I give it my best and I do something, then it's going to be good enough.
Yeah, I think that's but yeah, but maybe it's also the fear of falling. That I think, okay, that's but then I think everybody has that. I think at some point.
Okay. Yeah. We just have to fix the cats.
Yeah,
I had them separated, but now they're together, and they don't really go well.
that happens when you have doors in your house. A
Yeah.
door get closed and
Okay. Solved. Problem solved.
that's good.
So maybe we should cut out the last 15 seconds.
No, of course not. Of course not. This part of the life. I mean, that's it. I mean, we are in a bar, you know.
That's true.
And I mean, if you know to go to the restrooms, please. I wait for you. So the thing is, we were talking about fears, and but I mean, it's not only fears. When the people get to know you, I mean, one picture that I have from you and or of you is what is quite impressive for me, is when you came to the Agile Testing Days open air on the bar, and you ride, I don't know, 200 kilometers, 300 kilometers, I don't know how far was that. And I asked myself, what do you think when you are driving, when you are riding the bike? Because at some points, of course, there are cars or whatever, but I'm sure there are streets where you are alone. No?
Yeah, sure. Well, let me start with telling the story how I got to cycling, because
you are a Dutch person, so there's no story behind.
I've been cycling for all my life, but at 50 I really started to taking cycling more seriously, and that was during Corona. I needed I was driving on my motorcycle. I had my me time. I had my private time on the motorcycle, and that suddenly disappeared because due to Corona, we didn't go to work anymore. We all stayed home and stuff like that. So I needed some me time, and I bought this app called Strava. I'm now making a commercial for Strava, but that's okay. To actually get some inspiration to do some cycling or walking or whatever. And at the end of the year, I got this year overview, and I'd done 500 kilometers in cycling, which is peanuts, right? It's not even, it's 2 kilometers a day, which is peanuts. So I posted this in a colleague's app, like, okay, I did 500 meters this year. I think there's some room for improvement. And then one of my colleagues said, I hear you need a challenge. I challenge you, if you cycle more than I run, you get a beer. And I said, yeah, sure, why not? And then I started to look at how much he ran, and then I realized that he was actually training for a marathon. So he ran about 3,000 kilometers a year. So that was quite a bit more than I was cycling. And that started planted the seed. And that year I did 11,000 kilometers instead of the 500 I did the year before. And ever since, my goal is to do more and more each year. So each year I have to do more than the year before. So last year I did 12,700 kilometers, something like that. So this year I have to do more than that.
Oh.
And actually, and then you ask me, what are you thinking about on the bike? At some point, you don't think about anything. So you just keep your mind empty, and then ideas start to form. So, for instance, when I was doing the talk about how to test an AI with James Lindsay last year, ideas about how to do that started to form while I was cycling. So you actually, because you empty your mind, you have the mind space to do some of the creative stuff that you need to do the next thing. So on a bike, I get some ideas, and then I'm like, okay, ooh, and sometimes I even stop and write them down because you don't want to forget them. And then yeah, so some of the best ideas for conference talks or how to do stuff actually come to me when I'm cycling.
Wow.
Yeah, so and it's me time. It's you're on the bike by yourself. I don't normally cycle in groups. I hardly ever cycle together with other people. Mostly it's just about me being on the bike, having me time.
Okay. I mean, I love driving, or now I'm driving quite less, but in the early days when I work as consultant, I really was driving every week, a lot of kilometers, and after I finished working as a consultant, so I lead the company, and I was not driving that much. I missed the time because it's really that you solve a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's time all the time. It's me time, and you think and solve things, and this is interesting. That's why I was asking if this happened also to you, because I think that is very nice. I mean, I have this e-bike shop, and I have now 2 bikes, no? And maybe then I will have the third one, but I do not bike. I do not. I have no time. I need to look for the time really, because I would like to do it, but I'm
well,
a late.
it does take a lot of time, and specifically since I'm doing 12,000 kilometers a year, say on average 20-25 kilometers per hour. So it takes me about 600 hours a year to do the cycling, which is a lot. But then again, I don't have to go to the gym anymore because I have my practice already. It's also part of my traveling time, so I would have spent the time otherwise in a car or a motorbike going to work anyway. So, and I like it. If I wouldn't like it, I wouldn't do it. It's easy as that. If you don't like cycling, you don't go cycling for 600 hours a year.
No. No way.
I'm not sure what you're doing with your microphone, but I hear a lot of static.
A lot of
static, a lot of noise.
Noises from my mic.
Yeah.
That's maybe my mind working. I think that is the computer that now start to get cool. I don't know. Let's see. I put this. So I don't know. It's get better.
Oh,
I don't know.
Talking about cycling, by the way, let me do some shameless self-promotion. On the 6th of June this year, I'm going to be cycling on a charity ride for the Dutch Cancer Society. Actually, I'm going to go up and down Alpe d'Huez 6 times. At least that's the goal. I hope I will make 6 times, but I hope to at least do 2, but I hope 4 and maybe even get to 6. But if people still want to sponsor me, just send me a direct message and I will send you the link, because actually the charity ride is for sponsoring the cancer research in the Netherlands.
Okay, if you send us the link, we can put it here in
in the notes. Okay.
Yeah, in the notes, not in so that the people can click on that and get information.
Okay.
I need
I will do that.
to
I will
see.
send it to you. I will send it to you.
Okay, okay, that's great. This is about minute 40, so that's a good. I have to tell my colleagues. Put here.
Cool.
That's good. So do you have other passions like cycling, like running, or
Um,
one, or is this is a passion or a sin?
a passion or a what?
A sin.
Ah, right. Um,
Sorry for
well,
my accent.
I have some guilty pleasures. I like food a lot, and because I'm cycling a lot, I can also eat a lot. So that's compensating. Um, I like dancing, but you know that from the agile testing parties. So and I like that. Um, and there's part of me that's also interested in philosophy and thinking about meaning of life and stuff like that. I don't have too much time to do that, although on the bike I have plenty of time to think about those things. But um, it's kind of a hidden interest that whenever I find someone with an interesting point of view on that, I always like to debate and discuss it with people, right? So what's your opinion? What do you feel about this? But that's yeah. So if people want to have a discussion about that, come to me.
Are you religious?
No, no. I do think there is something more, but I do not believe in any God specifically, or no. But I do feel that, well, higher power maybe is a bit strange, but I have a feeling there's more to life than just us walking around here on Earth.
Okay. When sometimes are tough, right? And when it's get tough, do you have someone to talk to, or how do you deal with that?
Well, I'm married, so I have my wife to talk to, so that's one.
Yeah, that's the part that is tough, life. But
No. That's actually today is my 25th anniversary of my marriage.
wow, and you're spending that with me. Oh my
Yeah, I
God.
share that with you. Yeah,
Oh my
you
God.
should be
Oh,
honored.
congratulations, 25
Thank you.
years.
Thank you.
Wow, that's impressive. Thanks so much.
Yeah. So, and I also have a few good friends, and one of them, of course, is James. I can talk to the James about anything. Huib Schoots. I can also talk to Huib Schoots on almost everything. And I have some friends which are not in the testing scene, so you might not know them. But those are the people that actually I've got one friend. We might not see each other for months, but when we talk to each other, it feels like yesterday. You know, there's those friendships where you don't need to have a lot of contact, but once the contact is there, it's always of high quality.
Yeah.
And those are the people that you can talk to and confide in, and well, tell the stuff that's bothering you.
Yeah, I think everybody has some kind of friend like that, because I
Yeah.
have a very good friend of mine, Fen, living in South Spain, and that's it. When we meet, we see each other for not for years. We just chat in WhatsApp, or sometimes we have a call, and we know everything. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's nice. So now you are old man. You are now 51, right?
53.
53 already. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I wanted to be nice. You are looking like 53.
Thank you.
So if you look back to the young Bart, maybe studying at the university or just working as a developer. So
Mhm.
what would you say to him now, from based on your experience?
buy Bitcoin. No.
It's not a good topic here.
No. I think I would just tell him everything is going to be okay. So don't worry too much. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I would change much. I don't think I would advise myself to do stuff differently. But you know, it's maybe that's part of this self-doubt, or part of this uncertainty at some point, the imposter syndrome I was talking about. I think I would say to myself, "You're doing fine. It'll be okay."
That's very nice. Wow. This is yeah, because I think at some point that is how it is. And even what you said about buying bitcoins, of course. I mean, I have a customer in the shop. He may be something like 43, 44, whatever, and he's already few years back not working anymore because he bought bitcoins at the moment where you should buy it, and that's it. And I mean, you know, if you have millions of euros, we maybe never met. We will
That's
never
true.
have.
And that's what I also, that's why I say I don't think I would change much, because I know what I have right now, but I don't know what I would have if I made a different choice. Right? I could have said to myself, start your own company or whatever. And then, well, we might never have met. I might never have met my wife. I never might have had my kids and stuff like that. So I know what I have right now, and I don't know what would happen if anything would change.
Go back to inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because you just said, you mentioned your wife and your kids. Your kids are old. I mean, they are big. They're they're
22,
not.
25.
They're young. They're young, but still they're not small children. This is what I meant. So, why is it so difficult to inspire them?
I'm not really sure whether it's difficult to inspire them. It's they have to build their own life. They have to form their own ideas. They have to start doing stuff for themselves. The oldest one has gone to South Korea for 1.5 years, and he studied there. And sure, he had doubts, and sure, he had. Well, we were almost on the phone every day, because you know you can do that by now. But he also has made his own path and did his own thing. Would I have done it the same? I might not. I probably would have made different choices, but that's up to him. And the same goes for the youngest one. Well, you know, Oscar, he's been a volunteer at Agile Testing Days for a number of times. And it's good to see how they find their own path, how they find their own thing, how they evolve into well, very nice adults, I would say, both of them.
Yeah, yeah.
They're both very different, but I don't take credit for forming them. I hope I can take credit for giving them the space that they need to deploy themselves.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. I mean, you cannot. I mean, they go their own way, and
they have to go their own way.
Yeah, of course. They need to learn from their own failures, so they will not learn from the failures that you or me made. So
well,
you can warn them. You can tell whatever you want. Don't care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can warn them, but it's up to them if they want to take this warning seriously or not.
Yeah, I mean, we have always the it's not the discussion, but the chat with Jana, with my wife, because I want the kids once, because it makes no sense giving them a hard time, because I said it, so I'm free now. And then fail, that's good. Then you understand what I meant, so that's okay. And or not, or they succeed, and that's good. So because maybe there's something that I don't see, but they see. So
yeah.
But it doesn't matter if they're the small one or the biggest one. So there are always small things, of course. There's nothing important.
Yeah.
So that's.
You can give them advice. You can warn them for stuff, but in the end, they have to make their own decisions.
Yeah, but you know, advice must be called. Call. If they don't call for the advice,
No.
there is no. I think because they will not hear anyway. So how you could define the Dutch society? What do you think?
That is kind
because
of
you know the German society, because you have a house. And
yeah.
I disclosed that now. You have a house in Germany, and you are living in. What are the difference between both of them?
Well, to put it in general, I would say that Germans are more rule-abiding, whereas Dutch are more trying to find the holes in the maze. So it's like you try not to break the rules, but you try to bend them. You try to see if you can make the rules work for you a bit more than the Germans would. I think Germans are more structural, are more structured than the Dutch are. But at the same time, I think the Dutch are more creative, more innovative in the way that they do stuff. Then again, that I don't really feel there's a big difference between the German and the Dutch. It's like I said, there are small differences, and I'm not sure whether everybody agrees.
Let's not talk about football.
No. Let's not talk about football, because you Germans suck at football. So in that sense, yeah, no.
I'm from Spain. Sorry.
Okay. Well, actually, Spain being world champion at the moment, I think it's So no, okay, but no, I think that I think the Dutch society is a bit more relaxed than the German society is. But that might also be my personal bias. I don't know. Maybe I'm more relaxed.
I don't know. I just want to, because I have my own view. I see that they stick mostly to the rules. So there are rules and so on, and they stick. They are like this, and me, a Spanish guy, I think we are similar to the Dutch society. Oh, there's a rule. Okay, can we ban it? Okay, then we forget it. So
yeah.
So that's okay. So if you look at your life, what is a blessing?
Well, I guess blessings are the children I have, my wife, of course, and blessing is that I actually make enough money not to worry about money, but I don't make so much money that I have to worry about money. You know, it's. I think I've got the right balance. I have enough money to make it not an issue anymore, and I don't have so much money that I have to worry about having too much money. So it's. I think and that like I said, when I was a kid, we weren't rich. Actually we were. I think we were kind of poor, more or less. Although in the Netherlands, you can never be poor because you always have a roof over your head, you always have food and stuff like that. But knowing that you just have the reserves to do whatever you want, but not to worry too much about it, I think that's a blessing as well. And to be able to do the stuff that you want to do.
I think that when you understand that you will always or will be able to earn the money for living or to have a nice life, no, based on your knowledge or whatever, then this is something that is secure. And of course, we are living in a society, and that's different maybe to other countries, that if something happen, so the society around you will take care that you have a roof and you have food. Of course, you're not going to have the money for diamonds or for a car, but you don't need that. So
no, and in that sense, living in the Netherlands, and the same goes for Germany and to a large degree also for Spain, is that there's no, of course there's poverty, but there's not poverty as other parts of the world know it. And having a Dutch passport means that you're almost secured for life. You know, there are social benefits and stuff like that, and that in some degree is also it's a blessing, but it's also a curse that we take that for granted. That we actually think, well, this is how life is, but that's not always the case. There are people that actually have to fight for their food every day. That actually have to, right? I was okay. I will tell you a small story. I was once in India, and I was sitting in the taxi cab from the hotel to the office. I was working there for 2 weeks because I had to work with an offshore team. And next to this taxi cab, I mean, we were driving by, there was the slums. So there's actually the plastic city, you know, where there's just some plastic roof and that's it. And there was this guy coming out of that plastic city, having a hammer and his clothes. And that's probably all he had. And he had to walk to his work to actually work all day, probably to earn his food and then to come back into the same situation. And I was like, okay, that is so different and so more challenging than the life I ever had to live. That's a blessing. It's a blessing that we live here, and it's a curse that we take that for granted. It's at that moment, my wife called me and said that the washing machine had broken down, and she was really annoyed by that. And then I said, well, you have to tell me again once I'm back, because at this moment I could not worry about that. We have enough money to buy a new washing machine if you want to the next day. There are people living here that will never own a washing machine. So at that moment it just didn't sink in. I could not empathize with the feeling that she had that there was some wrongdoing because the washing machine had broken down. It just didn't compute at that moment.
Yeah. So, my dear, we are at the end of Pepe's Bar, and there are some questions that I always ask, and the first one is, what is your favorite drink?
Oh, that has to be whiskey. I lived in Scotland for a year during my master's thesis, and that's where I learned to drink whiskey. So a good single malt whiskey, it could be a very smooth one like Dalwhinnie, or a very tough one like the Freud. That's always my favorite. So a good Scotch single malt whiskey anytime.
I didn't know that. So the next time when you are at my place, so we need to look what we have here. I don't drink any whiskey anymore, or anything anymore. So sometimes a gin tonic, but the most of the time, you know, a wine, or like today, some juice. And
oh, I like wine. But don't get me wrong. I just drank a glass of wine.
I know you.
My favorite, it's going to be whiskey.
Yeah, that's okay. I know that you like dancing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no I mean, if you are at the Agile Testing Days party, you will see Bart dancing like crazy all the time. That's okay. And what is the song for you? So if we are now in the bar, is a song just get play? Which song? You just said, okay, Pepe, sorry, it doesn't matter what we're talking about. I go now dancing.
Yeah, it's gonna be Gangnam Style by Psy. It's
Yeah.
because of the dance that's to it, and the upbeat and the motions. Yeah, I like that song. I really like that song.
Okay. Have you been in Seoul in this part?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We've actually been to South. I've been to South Korea 3 or 4 times. Once for work, twice with my son, and actually when my son was in South Korea last summer, we've also been there in April to visit him. So yeah, I've been there.
Me too. It's a nice place.
Oh yeah,
Amazing for food. Amazing for food.
yeah, yeah. It's all kinds of different food as well, and we actually did a Korean cook workshop when we were there last April. So we've
Oh,
learned how to make bibimbap and stuff like that. So
there are very nice Korean restaurants here in Berlin. So the next time we are in Berlin, we can go for Korean
Korean
food.
food,
Yeah, yeah.
that would suit
Really,
me very well.
really very nice. Mhm. So if you would have the chance to meet someone to talk at the bar from this universe, from the
Okay.
universe, who should be the person?
Hmm.
There is a person that you like to talk to spend the time to.
Well, I'm not really someone for idolizing people. Um, so I guess my favorite person to be talking to in a bar would be one of my old friends, and actually maybe meet someone again that I haven't met for 15 years and say, hey, could I have this guy in the bar, please? Um, I'm, you know, of course, there's a lot of famous people that uh, you would say, well, why don't you ask for that person? But why are they famous, and what do they have to say to me? I'd rather have someone that I know from the past that to be there than to meet someone new and well maybe be disappointed.
I can tell you when I work in a discotheque,
Mhm.
when I was young, I there was the best and in discotheque in the Canary Island at that time, and we have all the stars from Spain, of course,
Mhm.
that when they are for concerts or whatever. So, and I was working in the main bar, and they were there.
Mhm.
So I need to serve them and so on, and there were only maybe one or two. They were nice and friendly. The rest, assholes.
Yeah, that might be true. So
They're
so
so
maybe
stupid. They're so stupid. They're so stupid. And I mean, was crazy. But there were especially one woman, and she was there with her boyfriend,
Mhm.
and I served them, of course, for free, but I put them. So at the end, they were totally drunk, and it was very very nice. This was a pity that it was not videos, or so they would have a lot of pictures with her. It was very nice, a very nice person.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so maybe when I asked this question is not about very important unknown person. For example, for myself, I would like to talk to my father because he
All right.
died when he was very young. So and there is um, maybe
Well,
doesn't need to be someone who is
no, you
known.
actually trigger me because and that happened actually quite recently. 3 weeks ago, my oldest cousin died, and we hadn't been in contact for about 2 to 3 years. And I was telling myself I need to get in contact with him again because I had some stuff I wanted to discuss with him. and I never had the chance. Maybe I would like him to be at that bar, just to have the chance to say those things or to discuss those things which I didn't do and for which it is too late right now. So yeah, that might be a person that I would love to have in that bar. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That's good.
I think so.
So the last but one questions. There is something there that you want to confess?
No.
You don't need. You don't need. Maybe
No.
there's nothing. Right? You are a very, very clean person.
No, I don't think I have anything really to confess. I don't think I have many regrets or sins, if you call it like that. Maybe I have to confess that I like coming to the Agile Testing Days a bit too much. Maybe that's a confession that I love going there, and maybe that's in the end a bit too much. But then again, as long as you will have me, I'm more than happy to be there.
Yeah, I mean, this year is going to be crazy. It's already getting full, and cool. I think that the program and the things around are very unique this year. And so. There were also there are also some surprises of new things that we're doing, and let's see. It's always very interesting. It's because for ourselves who organize that, and when you see the people, I mean, we are happy that you are coming, but on the other side, when you see you and other people that haven't seen each other for 1 year exactly, yeah, and you say, "Oh my God," and like each other, and drink a beer in the evening and talk and so on. So you see that there is a lot of love around, and nothing that's very nice. Yeah, that's very nice. Where is the best place on earth? A little house in Germany?
That is a good place. Where I live at this moment in the Netherlands, that's a good place. And having lived in Scotland for a year, I also have a bit of fondness for Scotland as well. So actually a few years ago, I was asked by the SIGist in Scotland to come there for a talk. And I was sitting in the train from Edinburgh to Glasgow, and I looked outside and I was like, yes. That also felt a bit like home. So I think the best place to be, or the best place on earth, is home, but home can be many different places. So Germany is a bit home. Here in Utrecht is a bit like home, but Scotland also still feels a bit like home. So that, yeah. So those are the nice places in the world.
Thanks so much, Bart. I really appreciate that you spent the time with me, being on the anniversary of your wedding, 25 years. But
yeah, well,
but okay. I'm also nice. But I'm also nice.
Yes, you are. Okay.
Thanks so much, my dear. Okay.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. You.
Love to do this interview. Hope to see you again in November, all in good health and stuff like that.
Yeah. Please.